Sharks have long held a fascination for a great many people, heightened no doubt in recent times by Steven Spielberg's classic film, Jaws.
Okay, you guys do understand these animals are not Jaws. Whatever you saw on the telly with Jaws, it's totally the opposite. We also have no resident animals in the area, so they never get used to what we're doing. They move, they're migrating all the time. This is like a pit stop for them, park off vehicle.
What Jaws also did was trigger a wealth of amazingly filmed and well-produced documentaries, promoting a more balanced understanding of how sharks and other predators are in fact vital to the well-being of every ecosystem. Yet sharks are still amongst the most threatened animals on the planet, in the company of the near relatives of skates and rays, all of which belong to a unique subfamily of fishes known as the elasmobranchs, which rather than having a skeleton of bones are built on a framework of cartilage instead. In addition to this, elasmobranchs are also equipped for internal fertilisation, putting a huge amount of investment into producing small numbers of well-developed, well-protected offspring, entering the scene at a much more advanced stage than the heavily predated fry and eggs of bony fish. A great strategy when nature is running the show, but not so great when external pressures are applied. In the main, this comes from commercial overexploitation, but contributions can also be made by thoughtless anglers, because with so few offspring to keep population numbers viable, as recently demonstrated by the near extinction of the European spur dog, disasters can happen very quickly, and recovery, if rather than when that follows, is always going to be painfully slow. Cartilaginous species generally come with some combination of rough skin, spines and either powerful cutting or crushing teeth, none of which are particularly angler friendly. The bigger shark species in particular have a fearsome macho appearance, which belies an often delicate and vulnerable reality, particularly when inappropriately handled, even by well-meaning anglers trying to do the right thing. Something, unfortunately, we are all guilty of from time to time. The best way to minimise stress and damage to both yourself and your catch is not to hook fish deeply in the first place. Two important measures that can assist here are the use of small baits on hooks with the barb squashed down and circle hooks. Baits obviously need to be big enough for the predators you are looking to catch and not so small as to allow in dogfish. In the case of taupe, half a mackerel with the tail removed from the back end to prevent it spinning is fine. This allows for an early strike and a good chance of a hookup around the edge of the mouth.
One reason why we don't flapper them too much is it attracts a lot of dogfish. With the loose bits flapping around, they're very easy meat to chew on. So I tend to leave them whole like that.
Unlike conventional hooks, because of the unique in-pointing tip, circle hooks very rarely penetrate inside a fish's mouth. Only when the hook turns and starts to exit can it grip, which is why 9 times out of 10 fish will be hooked in the scissor of the jaw. Timing the strike to avoid missed fish or deep hooking is not an exact science. But for taupe at least, once they are running with a small bait, 6 seconds is a pretty good rule of thumb.
On 6, 2, 3. Right, stop. If it moves at all now, it's it.
The safest form of handling for all parties is best done with the fish in the water, by taking a good firm rein on the trace and disgorging or cutting the wire close to the mouth, without the need to bring the fish on board the boat.
Getting the bar and the hook, turning the fish, and you use the weight of the fish to pull the bait out, pull the hook out.
Tagging can also be done in the water using an extended darting stick.
Yeah, I think we'll try and tag this one in the water, David. It's Paul Beagle. It's about 60 pounds. And then we'll cut him off. He looks like he's taking it well down, so I've got the longer tag stick this time. I'll just get the glove on for holding the wire. And it's the same cylinder, everything's the same. Exactly the same, but we're not going to bring him in the boat. See if he'll comply. There he is. It's him. Got the tag in there and everything. Fish is nice and fresh.
Under IGFA rules, if the trace is touched and the fish is released in this manner, it still counts as having been caught.
He's gone.
For smaller fish such as smoothhounds, spur dogs and huss, a landing net not only helps prevent them getting away, but also provides important body support during lifting. Some people even use a big net to bring in tow.
Walk that way. Drop it off it.
Well done, Brian. Right.
Leave it on there.
But eventually there comes a point, particularly for bigger fish, when lifting in by hand has to be done. Most damage inadvertently done to sharks by anglers comes as a result of inappropriate lifting.
It is important you bring the fish up level because trout don't have a rib cage, and if they're dragged up backwards then it can actually rupture and the hemorrhage, and although they swim back very happily, they die a couple of days later.
Large common skate, however, are a different matter, and there is no problem at all lifting these fish aboard using two gaffs, one carefully placed in the leading edge of each wing.
Yeah, when you're ready.
Recaptures of tag skate show that these gaff wounds do heal quickly.
That is a seriously big fish.
The biggest problem with common skate is getting them back into the water afterwards. To do this effectively, something like a piece of net or tarpaulin needs to be worked underneath the fish, allowing a lift from each corner to raise it up onto the gunnels and get it away.
You have to use the net. It's the only way of getting them out. Unfortunately, these fish have got no handles on them.
Say bye-bye. Watch the tail coming up round your chops.
Yeah. You just remember what that was? It's on the video, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at that go, majestic.
Large shark species, unfortunately, can be a little more difficult to handle inside the confines of a small boat.
So we just get this.
Taking immediate control of the tail is important. Some people even kneel and squat over a fish, controlling it with the backside. Placing a wet cloth over its eyes can also have a remarkable calming effect.
Yeah, the teeth are like razor blades. You need a variety of tools for toping.
For safety and efficiency reasons, hook removal is best done using a T-bar disgorger. If you have suitable scales and want to know the weight of a shark, always put it into a weighing sling which both controls it and supports the body cavity with a horizontal lift.
36.
Ooh, 36 Hey!
Alternatively, measure the length and the girth, or as shown here in the case of common skate, the distance between the wingtips, and look up the weight in an estimation table. Taking measurements from wade sharks is also useful when collecting data, as this will help the development of an industry standard estimation chart, which at some stage, hopefully, will be used for all species and by everyone.
Yeah, we read the weights from taking the measurements we took. So look at the wingspan, which was 67. The length was 85, and that works out at £1 under 200, £199.
199. I'll buy two of it. Well done, mate.
Well done, mate.
Well done.
Excellent.
Lovely jubbly.
Shark tags are inserted at a shallow angle close to the dorsal fin. For skate, they go into the fleshy part of either wing.
Yeah.
What bait did you have on there?
Yeah. That will go to the bottom. Sorry.
What bait?
Mackerel fillet.
Mackerel.
Also with shark species, it is important to cradle them when posing photographs and for lifting them back over the side.
When you return a fish, hold it into the water until you feel the strength come back. If it's a quick fight, it will be 5-10 seconds and you can feel the power come through it. He's starting to come now. This allows the oxygen to go through the gills. Push!